This is a place where they push cars to the limit and intentionally push them to breaking.
We're good to go here.
This is like car baptism right here.
Smoking tires in the streets to the sets of Hollywood, and onto the racetrack and pretty much everything in between. I'm Tanner Foust, and welcome to Life in the Foust Lane.
Fährst du über die Ostertage nochmal weg?
Nein, ich
Ein bisschen Wind.
Lomo is one of the places where so many of the European Ford cars are tested and built. This is the center of, it's called validating cars for the European market for Ford. Lomo Proving Ground, I mean, this is just like the proving grounds we have in the US, it's top secret. Not just anybody can just walk there, get in the gate. In fact, there's trees everywhere, specifically so people really can't shoot cars or photograph them from a distance.
Yeah, now we get to the top secret. Oh, look, it's even on the map. How top secret is that? It shows all the tracks on the map. Fail.
This is a place where they push cars to the limit and intentionally push them to breaking, and then they'll see what broke. They'll dissect these cars, find out what the weak link is, and then they'll fix it, try it again. It really is an incredible job that these people have to try to find out exactly how to make the cars that we sort of take for granted out on the road. It's a lot of massive decisions get made at a place like this.
It's a cool time to be a driver, especially in action sport type motorsport, where like everybody's internet savvy. Anybody sends you questions. So Hot Wheels does this thing on their Facebook page where you literally just go on photo booth and answer people's questions. I've never really spent much time on photo booth. The effects are hilarious. Like you can do a chipmunk face, you got the roller coaster thing, all of that stuff.
I'm like, man, I'm going too fast, what's happening? I turned the wheel and I wasn't turning none. I was like, hunt, dogs, hunt, stick. They're like, no, I can't, I don't have encryption.
I think I can usually get most of my emails done before getting out of bed with my phone. But this is the better office.
Minutes away, but this is kind of the new livery. There's a new pattern that Etnies has basically come up with. These clothes that have this kind of pattern are just now getting into stores, so we wanted to keep the car the same to those clothes, so there's a correlation. It's cool how all that stuff connects together, but it's also a pain in the ass to kind of keep it all on the same page.
The European Fiesta that I raced there is slightly different than the American car. And we had a few changes that we'd made to the suspension, tuning of the engine, things we needed to validate. So, I mean, what better place to validate those than the actual Ford Proving Ground? For me, it's just a matter of getting the seat right, getting comfortable with the car, because when you're at the track, you don't get a lot of practice time. You need to be completely comfortable with the car as soon as you buckle up for the first time. And we have a race in a couple days in England, so it's imperative that I use this time not just to test little systems and launch control and things like that on the car, but also to just flat out get comfortable in the seat.
We're good to go here.
A good day of testing means that you pretty much have broken the things that you think you might break in the race. And that's pretty much what we did. We broke some stuff, we broke some of the new hardware that we wanted to try out, which was important. And it's always a little bit tricky because when you set the car up for like a nice smooth place like this,
and then you take it to a rough track. Like Lomo is like a genuine racetrack that is beat to hell. The car's not necessarily going to be set up right for a real racetrack, but we've learned a lot, and I think we're ready to tackle them.
We built in an extra couple days to the proving ground for testing the car at Lomo that we just didn't need. So now we got a couple extra days in Germany. There's really only one thing that I want to do if I have an extra day in Germany, and that's to go to the Nurburgring. We had a Raptor, and it just seemed like a good thing to bring the Raptor out to the Nurburgring because nobody's done it before. People in the States, I don't know if they really realize how bizarre it is to put a Ford Raptor on the Nürburgring. They don't have pickup trucks in Germany. People don't see them driving down the roads like we do in the States, much less have them on a racetrack that is reserved basically for Porsches and supercars. I would say we were definitely the most popular vehicle on the Nürburgring. It just was because, you know, whatever, the Germans are out there drinking in the forest, and Porsche, Audi, and then Raptor jumping sideways, bouncing over curbs and everything. I think people absolutely loved it. Sometimes it's a little tricky on these trips to take time and experience the culture. A lot of times I'm fairly late getting into the races and fairly early leaving, but if there's even a half day, we'll take time. We'll go get on some go-karts. I hardly ever do anything touristy while I'm traveling. It's usually just with local friends or even racers from the race. We'll be like, hey, you gotta go try this weird version of bowling that involves more drinking than actual bowling. And I mean, who's to say no to that? There's always an adventure kind of finding the track. If I've been to the track before, I will try to find it on memory. It's sometimes not possible to just look up Google Maps on your phone, so there's always a little bit of adventure going to the track. I went to elementary school in Scotland, and so a lot of the history classes there were about, you know, history of Scotland and history of the UK. So being in England and being able to have a chance to go check out the White Cliffs, it's an awesome thing. These are the White Cliffs of Dover. You know, people have heard that phrase before, but not a lot of people get to go actually stand on them and see what it would have been like for the French coming over trying to invade, or any other country when England was this giant world power packed in this little island. And if you're within 5 miles at a racetrack and you have half an hour, why not just drive over there, take a look, maybe click off a picture. In the off-season, everybody is working on their car. Everybody's gone to the drawing board, found a little innovation that they think is going to make their car a little bit faster. Their hand gets showed in the first race. This is what it all is about. This is after everything you've worked on in the off-season to make your car that little bit faster than the next guy. This is where you get to see where you measured up. And to win that race, first of all, it puts everybody else on their heels, because then they're thinking, oh man, they came up with something. Tanner and Andreas, they came up with something in the off-season. We better get to the drawing board quick. And it also gives you and your team the confidence to move forward. That's not even mentioning the guys that are working on the cars. And these Swedes are some of the hardest working mechanics on the planet, in my opinion. You really want to win for them, because they want it just as bad as you do. I'm incredibly proud to be the only American in the ERC. You know, it's not televised. There's not a lot of noise made around those events, even though they are so damn cool. I'm very, very proud to go there with the American flag when I do get on the podium. It's, you know, you watch the Olympics, you watch people holding the American flag, they hear the national anthem if they won. Yeah, you can't help but feel very, very proud to represent your country as its, you know, sole ambassador for that weekend. After all that testing on beautiful dry surface of Lomo, we get to the race in England, and of course it is raining, and it's muddy, and it's slimy and slippery, and it has nothing to do with anything that we've just tried out. But I'm really pleasantly surprised at how fast the car is. Sometimes your internal dyno makes it feel like you're going fast, and sometimes it feels like you're going slow, but you can really only measure that against other cars and other drivers. And we were quick on the times. Quick against the other drivers, quick against the local hero, Liam Duran, and going light to light in the final and winning that race was not what I expected when we showed up and saw the weather report. A win is a win, but when you're not expecting it, it's kind of even sweeter. If anybody's used to the rain, it's people in England. But the fact is that thousands of people came out, even though all the weather reports said it was going to be pouring rain. When they got there and it was in fact pouring rain, they stayed, they watched, they cheered, they were loud, involved. It shows that this is a sport of passion. You know, it's not something that you flip through on the TV and you just find. This is a destination sport for these people. They drove a long way and they made a big effort to see it. A little bit of rain isn't going to stop them.
The winner from America, Tanner Foust.
Coming straight from the fields of East England into New York City is a pretty big transition, to say the least. A little bit of jet lag, but I'm looking forward to what Men's Health has in store for this whole road trip. Testing at Willow Springs is a kind of a dress rehearsal. It's a place to set the compound up, you know, see how much pit space we need. It's first time the teams get a chance to kind of work together, but you know, it's a place that I've been to a lot, so it's kind of fun.